Hello, welcome back to day 3 here at NAMM 2020 with the new Yamaha YC61 Stage Keyboard. My voice is kind of going away here, so hopefully you can still hear me. But anyway, so this video, all I want to do is cover the keys section. I might touch on the organ section a little bit as a layered effect, but I really wanted to focus on just the keys section so you can check out some of the cool things that are in the keys section. Things like acoustic grand pianos that are just amazing in this instrument. Electric pianos. There's a whole range of great electric pianos that are very different from one another that you can find some use for in pretty much anything that you do. The synth sounds are really cool because not only does the FM engine do the FM organs over here, we have a selection of FM sounds, things like the really classic FM EPs, FM lead sounds. With the FM lead sounds, there's some cool things that you can do with things like detune, unison mode, so you can fatten up the FM sounds, and I'll talk about that as well. And then the other section has things like guitars, horns, saxophones, pads, all sorts of stuff that bass is good as well in here is in the other section that are really, really great sounding things. There's one sound in here in particular that I'll show you that's one of just the steel string guitar sound that's just glorious, especially when you use it with pads. And the last thing that you'll see when I use these sounds is that these effects really play into the sounds quite a lot. So for example, I'll start here with just the piano section. Let's talk about what effects I have on this piano. First one is just damper pedal resonance, so that you hear the damper pedal, the resonant character of the piano open up as you touch the sustain pedal. So you have control over that. And you can do it so you can be just the piano resonance like this. So there's just the piano, but when I play the sustain pedal, so you hear a little bit of that damper pedal resonance, but I can turn it into a special effect really quick as well. I'll do that in a second, but first of all, just check out this cool piano here. By the way, the other effect I have in here is the compressor. Gives it a little bit of maybe a little gain in there, but it also kind of controls the gain as well. Makes it kind of a more of a produced kind of piano sound. But first, here we go, CFX. So I tried to play really kind of soft in there. It's amazing how dynamic this piano is. So I can play super soft, but as I play louder, it's just a big, giant, nice piano. Now I was talking about the damper pedal resonance effect. Things I like to do is, just turn up the damper pedal resonance all the way and see what happens. Then it kind of becomes this sort of prepared, interesting sort of that I might use in some sort of like EDM sort of thing. Maybe I can pull it back a little bit and maybe not have so much. But that's one of the cool things that I like to show on this instrument is how quickly things can go from very conventional to very experimental. So some of the other pianos in here, and I'm calling these up in a live set. So the first two I have in here are A and B. The second piano is the C7. I love this piano because it has a different quality and character than the CFX, but it also has this really great ability. It has this great ability to cut through a mix as well. Other pianos that are on this instrument are the S700. This is just a great piano. It's been around since basically the S90 ES, and we brought it back in the CP series, and we brought it back in the YC. The last one that's in here that's really slick is the U1 that we added in the CP series. The thing I like about this piano, it has a little bit of a character quality. So it's a little bit not maybe in perfect tune. It's been kind of sitting in the studio for a while, but part of that gives it its allure, I guess. Now, I want to mention something about the action here. I love playing these instruments from this waterfall key action. Even though it's not fully weighted, it really does have this nice bouncy feel, and it's just very expressive. It's very easy to play both the organ sounds, but also these other acoustic instrument sound as well. So now let's move over to the RD category, RDEP1. So this is the first one, is just the... So this RD, 78 RD is kind of the most modern of all of the RDs that are in here. The thing that's slick about this piano is right now I have it running through the speaker amp section. So the speaker amp section is where the rotary speakers lie, but it's also where lead, crunch, double, and this last one here, case. Case is a VCM model of a vintage electric piano speaker and amp simulation. So I can turn that up and add a lot of drive to it. Or the tone control, if I wanted maybe a lot of drive but a little bit more of a bass boost in here, or if I want to increase the treble. So I have some control over the tone shaping in there as well. Which is very cool. I love that new addition in here for the RD sounds. Next, I'll bring up the 75 RD Funky. This one has a little bit more bark in the low end. So great electric pianos in there. Next up, I'll play the 67 RD Dark. So this one is one that we added to, I think, OS version 1.2 for the CP. This is one that's a really sweet, totally original backline instrument that has all the original components in it, and it has this really great just dark, vintagey quality. Now, another thing that's great about these instruments, remember that on the keys A and B section, you have two separate insertion effects. So I only have one on right now, and that's the compressor. But I have the second one I can just engage when I want to go maybe to the bridge and I want to add a phaser. This is the VCM small phaser. Switch it off when I want to, switch it on when I don't want it. Another thing to keep in mind that I can easily assign that to a foot switch if I want to just use a foot switch. Assigning things is really, really easy in this instrument. I just go into settings. Maybe I'll go to sound, controllers, and go to my, let's say I want to use maybe the modulation lever to do that. I can assign that just by going right here, touching that. Now the modulation lever is assigned to turning on that effect, so I can turn it on and off very easily. So let me move on to some of the WR EPs. So WR EPs are more of the reed pianos. This one I have a compressor and a tremolo effect assigned to this one. So check this out. Second one in here that's WR warm. This one's called WR wide. So moving right along here, we have a clavinet sound. So I have that one with the touch wah effect. That's very slick to have touch wah. But another thing that we have in here is the pedal wah effect. So I have it assigned down here to my FC7, so you can do these cool, you know. So really cool, great clavinet style effects. Last thing I want to show, obviously, is the FM EP. So a great thing that we've added too is an FM engine. So since the FM engine does the organ effects, it also does these cool EP style effects, or EP rather, not effects, but actual sounds. Now the chorus I have applied in here is called the 816 chorus. So we've added the chorus effect from the TX816 to give it that really nice, wide, beautiful effect. And of course I have the instantaneous rate and depth controls, so I can adjust it and tweak it how I want to. If I want a little bit more, a little bit less, very easily done. Maybe not that much, but... So FM sounds. Now listen to this. I just want to point this out. I just moved to another live set, so this seamless sound switching is totally here in the YC as well. So now I have a new brass sound in here. So that's the sforzando brass. I can set up a second one, a B, in here to add the B key section, to add a sax session. But I still have the sforzando brass in there. The rise of that sforzando brass. I love this sound. Spanish steel is what I call this. This is the steel string guitar sound. Now what I love about this sound is I like doubling this sound, or rather layering this sound with the sine lead sound, but I have it in polyphonic mode. And the other one I like in here is using the FM organ, but I'm not using it as a traditional organ. It's more of a background sort of pad sound, and I turned on the sustain effect. So check this out. Just a really cool sound. You have also these great horns. And very expressive. So I guess what I love about this instrument is that you basically have everything you need for the gig on here. I'll play a couple more sounds. One of them is, I'm going to take it kind of to more to the pad areas now. So we'll start out with just a straight up, just analog pad in here. Now check this out. I have the single knob filter control, so I can instantly sweep the filter here. And this one has a little bit of a resonant boost in there. So I can easily just grab this. And again, let's say I want to just have the control here for the filter to be closer to my hand over here. Doing that is super easy. I'll just drop into controller, go to modulation level, press assign, and just move that control. Now the filter is assigned to this. That fast. You don't have to, think about much on this because it's just a great interface. I want to show a couple other things in here. One of them is just using these cool effects. This is a lo-fi effect and a harmonic enhancer on one of the sounds. The other sound in here uses a delay and a ring modulator. So when you have these two together with these FM, this is FM saw pad and an FM bell square. And it does some really cool the lo-fi effect especially. Okay, the last thing I want to show here is just a cool thing you can do with some of the FM lead sounds. So this is a very simple FM synth lead. But we have some cool settings in here where if I go to sound, touch, key A is what I'm at here, and I have it already on, I have it on mono already, but we have this thing called FM unison. What FM unison does, it does kind of a doubling effect. So I turn it on, and it fattens up the sound. Go to the next one, put on detune. So I have detune in there. Last thing I'll do is spread. So it spreads it out kind of in the stereo field. And then, if I need a filter, I can turn on a filter inside the effect here. FM usually doesn't have filters until recently with Montage and Modi X, of course, but so lots of things that you can do with this instrument, with synth leads, with pads, acoustic instruments in the YC61. So I've gone a little long here because there's so much stuff in here to cover that I can't cover it all, but this will at least give you a taste of the other sounds just in the keys section alone that are on the YC61. There's going to be more coming, so stay around, check it out. I have an interview coming up with Stan Lewis, great keyboardist, and other people. Check it out. Thanks a lot for watching.